Jayden Daniels thing. The entire debate about jerseys is something that we were kind of stuck on yesterday.
I was about to say.
But now specifically, it's taken another turn here as a cease and desist letter has gone out from Jayden Daniels to LSU. It just is further, just makes this drama with him and Lane Kiffin.
Right. I mean, I haven't gotten the chance to read the full article, but I did see this notification come across my phone right before I went to bed last night, and I was like shocked when I saw it. A cease and desist?
Yeah.
I thought maybe he would be upset about somebody wearing his number, but I never anticipated it going to this length.
I think that there's probably other elements to this story.
Yeah.
I can go into about the optics of it and how it looks, but as we do know, DJ Pickett was given the number 5 jersey, and looks like Lane Kiffin is going to stand on that.
Yeah.
Patrick, we've kind of talked about this in a lot of different forms, what this actually really means for LSU. Number one, how does this land? Did you think it would go this far all after a number 5 jersy? And actually, do you think that Jayden Daniels has a case?
No, definitely no to that second question. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about, and it's just so funny that it's come to this point because we literally said, I think a week ago, Jayden Daniels did not do enough to get this sort of treatment. Yes, I understand he was there for multiple years and he played for multiple years. And if it weren't for him, then I think LSU would have been stuck between, Ricky, I forget his last name, Ricky Collins or Garrett Nussmeier that 1 year. As at quarterback. And I mean, Nussmeier was the quarterback the year before that Daniels ended up taking over. But still, he didn't do enough. And I mean, this screams this was not from him. This was either, in my opinion, from his family trying to get back at LSU, or this was an attorney trying to, find a way to get his name out there. I don't see Jayden Daniels doing this. Yeah. I mean, the person himself, like take away everything around him. Just think about Jayden Daniels, the person.
Right.
I just don't see that. Like this being something that he would do, in my opinion.
But I think he would have the power to say, guys, this is crazy. What are we doing?
Right. But there's other situations, and I'm not really trying to tie the two, where he has power to stop and say, I don't want to do this. And curiously, he doesn't.
True.
Because there's probably some monetary value behind this where it's like, hey, maybe, I can get something out of this. He wasn't going to be the one that actually brought it up. It's just, this whole situation is so fishy to me.
Mm-hmm. So what exactly does a cease and desist do? Like, what would that...
hey, let's stop using... You can no longer use my NIL, my name, image, and likeness in association with the university.
Right.
Okay.
So, we need to separate all ties between me and this university.
Okay. But that's I feel like that's kind of sad. Like, you're never going to go back to LSU?
I think a lot of cease and desist, and the reason why you were asking it, because I think it's two-pronged. What it is legally and what it actually probably is more optically. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It optically looks like jarring when you hear a cease and desist letters like, you're the quarterback of that school, the second most famous, maybe third most famous quarterback at that school. You're going to do cease and desist. I think a lot of people use it more so as posturing for the public.
Okay.
More so than it is actually taking full on, legal.
Right.
It's legal run there.
So more just a way to say, hey, I'm really upset about what's going on here.
Correct. But this is the reason why, I mean, one of the things I think about, and Patrick, you have it in the rundown, about if this is something that Jayden Daniels should be worried about. We are a few weeks away from the regular season in the NFL. The most scrutinized position, probably in all of sports, is the starting quarterback for an NFL franchise. He holds one of those 32 jobs.
Yeah.
He's coming off of another injury-laden year. That's been his issue. That's been his problem. He's looking, number one, to take this team to the next level and not necessarily falter. These are things that I would hope is the last thing on Jayden Daniels' mind.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it is something that is like a little beyond him.
Yeah.
It does feel...
And I wonder if there was a sense of he tried to work it out with the university prior to this, on more level grounds.
Right.
And they kind of said, hey, we don't care.
Right.
Well, the latest statement that Pete Thamel just put out was that this is what Jayden Daniels said. Obviously, there are issues to be worked out between my team and LSU, and my hope is that it will get done privately. Keyword privately.
Right.
So this scenario just came up. Like, he is definitely a guy that wants to handle matters off the field in private.
Yes.
Whereas there are some people around him that would rather the issues come into the limelight. And I'm not going to name names, but if you've been following Jayden Daniels and his NFL career, you could start to see a little bit of a pattern here. It's I don't understand what it is, but like ever since that rookie season where he just took over the league by storm, there's been something around him, whether it's injury related, off the field stuff, and just stuff that he does in his personal life.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like someone always wants him in the limelight. I just don't understand.
And so now there's two sides to this. I want to approach it from the other side of this.
Okay.
Because I'll give you Jayden Daniels' attorney his statement on it. It says, Jayden and his family had every right to believe his number will remain a meaningful part of LSU's legacy and will be honored and protected in recognition of extraordinary contributions to the university. All fair. Then Lane Kiffin decides to give this to a sophomore corner.
Yeah.
And instead of Lane saying, sorry, I didn't realize what the number 5 meant, JD, you're going to have to pick a different number.
Yeah.
He dug his heels in and he's like, no, this guy is keeping the number 5.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me there's a part of me that wants to back a coach that does that. Like, hey, if you were promised this, then you're
Do you really think Lane doesn't know what 5 means? I mean, he coached against Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, but maybe like not to the extent. Maybe not to the extent of like where his attorneys are coming from, thinking that it's like this super protected number that it shouldn't be worn by anybody. Because I do think, let's just say that there is a high power. Let's say Arch Manning hit the transfer portal and Arch Manning wore number 5 and Arch Manning decided to follow Lane Kiffin to LSU.
Yeah.
And he wanted to wear number 5. I don't know if Jayden Daniels or his team, wherever this is coming from, has a problem with this.
Yeah.
I think it's a problem because the number 5 is given to this kid, which makes it
really
worse.
And it goes back to what Brian Holland was saying yesterday. You know, if he had reached out to Jayden Daniels and was like, hey, can I wear this jersey? Then there probably wouldn't be a problem. I think the fact that it was just blindly given out, which I understand it was promised to him in a recruiting pitch by Brian Kelly, but do we really think that Brian Kelly actually said this? Or is Lane trying to stir the pot yet again?
Right.
I mean, I think now...
That's true. And why are you upholding something to that extent that Brian Kelly... you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're taking back your word.
Look,
it just feels...
I know Pickett was a 5-star plus coming out of Florida, and I'm sure that this was just part of the recruiting pitch from Brian Kelly to him and say, hey, and oh, by the way, you can wear number 5 just to add like an added bonus to why you should come here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what got him to commit to LSU. If you're really committing to LSU over other schools just because you can wear a certain number, then we have bigger problems in this sport than just that. But it's just so fishy to me. And I want to play a soundbite from Lane Kiffin talking about this last week. I know we didn't get to it last week, but he says something that I want you guys to pay attention to because it almost sounds like it's the right message, but it's coming from the wrong messenger. Take a listen.
DJ is in 5, and that was a situation that was promised to him in recruiting here for him to sign here. And I've done a lot of research on that with the family and the representatives and the people. And so really, I didn't have a decision to make. It was promised to the kid. It wasn't done for whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to judge something that I wasn't here of. But when a kid's promised something to come to school, he should wear it. And so at that point, I don't really think that's my decision. You know, should be honored what he was told. And so he's wearing it.
I find it hilarious that Lane Kiffin, of all people, is talking about fulfilling promises. That's why it's like, all right, what in the world are we doing here? It's the right message. You definitely want to fulfill the promise to the kid.
Sure.
But, I mean, you got to read the room here. You want to talk about promises, then why don't we go back to last year and you not fulfilling your promise to end up finishing that season with that Ole Miss team?
Yeah.
It's just, it came off terribly to me.
It's also... I wonder if this is almost a situation where DJ was like, all right, you're not letting me wear the number, I'm not going to play. You know what I mean? Like, why is he so adamant about he has to get this number?
Well, so you're saying DJ, why does DJ want to have this number?
Right.
Well, I think I think if he wore it, like if it, let's I don't know his backstory, but let's say he wore it all through school.
Right.
His dad wore it before. His older brother wore it before, and it's just a number legacy thing. He's born on the 5th, on May 5th, and he's 5'5", 2025 or whatever, and so or 2005.
But I feel like there's a level of like reading the room, right? Like.
Oh, so
I don't
you
know.
would so in your world.
I mean, I think Lane is ridiculous for letting him do it in the first place, but also just like thinking about the kid, I'm like, what if you come out and have a terrible year? You're gonna be so embarrassed.
Yeah, and I do think all of his mistakes.
That's been my argument about Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
that's been my argument about why LSU should just say, "Hey, no one can wear 9 again." Because what if someone asked Joe Burrow, a 5-star plus QB coming out of Florida, the #1 QB, the highest ranked quarterback prospect in a long time, and he is a complete dud, and he wears number 9, and then that's the last person that wears number 9, so it almost feels like that legacy's tarnished. Like you can't run that risk. I feel like
I don't know. I don't really see it through that prism, and maybe it's because like when you see teams like Alabama or Penn State, there's a lot of good number 22s and there's a lot of average number 22s. I mean, Derrick Henry wore 22, Mark Ingram wore 22. I think Johnny Musso wore 22.
Think of it.
You don't think of the ones that didn't go to the NFL or didn't win the Heisman Trophy or a national championship.
I'm actually going to refrain on the analogy I'm going to make.
He edited himself.
I do get that point. I just think we're at a place in history where it's already been done. Like, I know I keep bringing up Auburn, but Auburn honored Cam Newton, retired number 2. So I feel like now all these other quarterbacks who are legends in college see that and are like, hey, well, if he's getting honored, I feel like I need to be honored at my university. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just kind of a level of pride in yourself
in a way,
where you see your peers.
This is such a good point.
Okay.
Because
Thanks.
I think this is something I didn't think about until you said it.
Yeah.
I think this is relatively new in college,
yeah.
where they want, like Jayden Daniels, like one of his lawyers said that he believes his number should be, protected all the time.
Right.
And I think a lot of this stems from Cam Newton. I think a lot of it stems from, I don't know what Florida's done with Tim Tebow and that number 15. I know it's honored in a certain way.
Right.
But no, I do think this is more of a recent thing.
Yeah.
Because college always seemed to be transitional. It always seemed to be like you wore this number for a while. It was your legacy in that world, in that moment, and then it got moved on to somebody else.
Right. No, I'm with you. I do think it wasn't normal for any college number to get retired for a really long time, but now that we're starting to see it, that's what's kind of causing this uproar from others, because they're seeing it happen with their peers, and now they're like, well, hey, I need to be honored. What are we talking about?
I guess I will make the analogy. It's almost in a sense where it's like, all right, you're about to have a kid, and then you end up naming your kid Junior, like Patrick Walsh Jr.
Right.
And you run that risk of like, all right, what if this kid, is bad and can't stay out of jail, so to speak, or it just ruins your name.
Right.
Then it's like, all right, now you're kind of stuck with this whole scenario where it's like, dang, now the name is ruined because of that.
See, and I always think that the person that is the matriarch or patriarch of the name, for example, let's say Patrick Walsh Sr., you in this case, is a Hall of Fame baseball player or
we could use
golfer.
LeBron James.
Bronny is a great example of this. I don't know if Michael Jordan's kid is named after him. I don't think so. But I mean, there are examples of where it can work out that way. I still think that the person who harbors the height of it will still get the lion's share of the praise and the credit and all of that. I just think that there are certain elements of this that is interesting. I do want to put it on a scale for you guys. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard question to ask and answer. Who is the most wrong in this situation? Do you think Jayden Daniels' stance is the most wrong? Wrong is such a hard term, but it's the only one I have right now. I think you know where I'm coming from when I say it.
I think his stance is a little...
Okay, sorry. No, because I want you to wait against 3 different people, because you brought up somebody I didn't think about.
Okay.
Is the most wrong opinion, so to speak, Jayden Daniels on where he stands on the jersey?
Okay.
Lane Kiffin about where he stands with the jersey? Or JD, the kid that's going to wear the number 5, where he stands on the jersey?
It's EJ, right? Is it JD or EJ?
DJ
Pickett.
DJ Pickett. Like where he stands on the jersey. And then if you want to fold LSU on there
one
as well.
right answer here.
Okay. I think LSU. Or Lane / LSU. Because I do think the way Jayden's coming about it is a little ridiculous.
Okay.
I do think DJ. Sorry, there's too many
It's
letters
been a long
in my
day.
head. It's been a long day already. I do think DJ, while inconsiderate, is still just a kid, and he's given the number, so he's going to wear it.
Mhm.
So I kind of see it as LSU should have handled the situation better.
Here's what I would say. If we still had the same information that we got overnight, I would say, all right, LSU and Lane Kiffin is being a little bit ridiculous in this situation. However, the recent developments and some things that have been confirmed to sources is that now Jayden Daniels wants LSU to return their Heisman copy.
Yeah.
So now I'm almost saying, all right, now Jayden Daniels' camp is going absolutely over.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I understand the player gets a Heisman copy and then the school gets a Heisman copy. But if you're like, hey, I don't want the LSU to have anything to do with my name, image, and likeness, so that means return my Heisman copy, that's just being petty at that point. I mean, it just screams like someone that is just angry that they're not getting what they want. And I just don't think that's who Jayden Daniels is.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like there's some outside influence coming in here.
Well, that's where I'm with you, because my answer to this is team Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much of this is the player, and there's a lot put on, and he might be leading this entire charge, and he might be telling the players all of this, given his past and kind of what we know about him from a public perception, which is not always the 100%. Like, this seems outside of his character.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he has to know that he's still a current quarterback in the NFL. Every ounce of drama energy that is poured into this.
Yeah.
If he plays terribly on Sunday, and let's just say DJ Pickett balls out, it's not going to be a good look.
Yeah.
Just in general. So I think team Jayden
and
Daniels
also
is
just
about
not to mention, you were quarterback at a school that also had Joe Burrow as a quarterback.
Correct.
Like, you're not even the biggest legend
of your generation
at LSU.
Yeah.
So I can see being upset about it, but I feel like you're going a little far here when Joe Burrow is also kind of in your boat. I know nobody's wearing his number yet, but they haven't retired his number either.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But like, what I will say is, I just don't think Jayden would do something like this, especially after the season he had last year. Now, maybe if he had a season like he did in his rookie year where he led the Commanders to the NFC Championship game, but last year he missed 7 games because of injury. He never could consistently stay on the field. All of the worries in the pre-draft process about Jayden Daniels ended up showing up last year.
Yeah.
Small, could get hurt at the next level, and that's exactly what happened. Now, we just talked about earlier this week, his offensive lineman, Laramie Tunsil, is going to be down with an injury for most of the season. It seems like it's the wrong time for this to be coming up, like in my opinion. And it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But what I will say is, at the college level, I'm sure the people laughing in LSU's face right now is Ole Miss, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this anymore.
Drama. Right.
I mean, how in the world are you going to go out and play a football game in a few weeks against Clemson University, who I know Clemson's not the same as they used to be anymore, but they're still a respectable program out of the ACC, with all of this noise in the offseason ever since Lane Kiffin arrived in Baton Rouge last November, and be able to put it to the side and play football? I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I understand the noise was pretty loud last year at Ole Miss,
for sure.
Even in the offseason, moving into the regular season. But this is getting next level.
This is ridiculous.
I just feel like it would have been so easy to say, hey, look, let's think about this again. Like, this is number 5. This is Jayden Daniels' number.
I don't care what Brian Kelly told you.
Right. Is there anything else we could do? That's why I bring up the question, is this something where DJ was like, well, I'm not touching the field if you're not giving me my number? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is this just Lane being Lane and saying, well, Brian promised it, let's give it to him?
I do think there's a part of that. I do think there's a part of I don't know if the kid gave an ultimatum of like, hey, 5 are gone, but it would stand to reason that maybe that might be the case. But I also do think that Lane is of the stance of like, I'm not gonna get bullied around by a guy that was here when I wasn't here, and or a guy that I lost to. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of him that I think there's a part of Lane Kiffin that loves to rebel against things.
Right.
And this is just another opportunity to rebel against something.
True.
And it's just the flames have gotten so high.
Here is where I'm almost like kind of inclined to say maybe Brian Kelly didn't actually say this, and this is something that Lane almost like made up to try to like scapegoat him, because Brian Kelly made a statement to ESPN saying, I just wasn't prepared to do it until we got a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner. We didn't want to issue number 9, so you can't treat one differently from the other. So if he's saying that he was a little bit reluctant to give out this number, that doesn't line up with him promising DJ to give him number 5.
Correct.
So who is wrong in this situation?
Yeah. Or maybe the kid
Has
told.
Brian Kelly made a statement since all of this has happened? Or was
That's
that
the statement.
was his
That's the
statement?
statement that he made.
Why didn't he just say if he did or didn't? Like, that feels...
Because, I mean, maybe because he didn't use those actual words, but said, like, essentially kind of gave a soft, yes, you can have it kind of deal. And the kid took it and run with it and said, hey, Lane, Brian said I could have it if I'm here. If not, I'm gone.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. This is such a weird situation to be coming up on August 12th to 13th.
Yeah.
Like weeks before the regular season starts. I mean, the Commanders play a preseason game this weekend.
Right.
So, like, what in the world is going on here? These are more distractions. Now, all of a sudden, Jayden Daniels is going to have to play with a chip on his shoulder because it's all this off-the-field stuff. And if he has another bad season, then everyone's going to write him off. And, I mean, look, this is year 3 for him. And usually year 3 is when franchises go, all right, is this time to lock up our guy? Is this our guy that we're going to roll with in the future? Or do we need to start looking elsewhere?
Well, we've seen both.
We've seen one season of major success, and we've seen one season of complete and utter disappointment. What are we going to get this year? And I mean, all this off the field noise is not helping anyone's case, especially not Dan Quinn's.
No, especially not. And it is an interesting situation. We'll find out kind of the way it shakes out because it doesn't feel like anybody's budging.